On a bright Miami morning, Dorothy, Blanche, Rose, and Sophia gather around the breakfast nook, steam rising from their coffee mugs as sunlight filters through linen curtains. The table is strewn with Rose's signature coconut macaroons, Sophia's oversized cheesecake plate, and Blanche's delicate crystal goblets. Dorothy glances at her watch just as the doorbell rings unexpectedly. She sets down her cup, curious but composed. Standing in the hallway is her daughter Kate, dressed in a summer sundress and clutching a small travel bag, her eyes shining with excitement and a hint of nervousness. Dorothy embraces her daughter with a mixture of pride and relief. Blanche swoops in with a dramatic flourish, exclaiming, "Well, if it isn't the bride-to-be herself!" Rose claps delightedly, nearly dropping her plate of cookies, while Sophia peers over Dorothy's shoulder, sizing up Kate's fiancé possibilities. Kate takes a deep breath, smiling broadly, and announces that she's engaged to Dennis, a soft-spoken podiatrist she met at a conference 6 months ago. As Kate recounts their whirlwind romance, late-night phone calls, surprise weekend visits, and a proposal set against a sunset beach stroll, the roommates listen intently, exchanging approving nods and heartfelt ahs. As Kate begins to unpack in the guest room, Dorothy watches her with a tender smile that falters when Kate timidly asks, "Mom, do you think Dad would give me away at the wedding?" The question hangs in the air, and Dorothy's face tightens. We flash back to a younger Dorothy, reeling from the lawyer's call that ended her 38-year marriage, clutching a divorce decree on her kitchen floor. Back in the present, the silence is heavy. Blanche senses the tension and gently excuses herself to fetch more napkins, leaving Dorothy and Kate alone. Kate's voice wavers as she admits she's always imagined her father walking her down the aisle, yet she hesitates, aware of the pain it might cause her mother. Dorothy's throat tightens. She recalls how she single-handedly raised Kate and her brother, the nights spent comforting tearful children after Stanley's departure. Rose peeks in with concern. Dorothy brushes her off, but cannot hide the flicker of hurt in her eyes. Finally, Dorothy steels herself, placing a reassuring hand on Kate's shoulder and says, "Let's ask him. You deserve the wedding you've dreamed of." The resolve in her voice blends sorrow, hope, and fierce maternal love. Determined to make Kate's day perfect, the four women commandeer the living room. Blanche perches on the arm of the sofa, cocktail napkin in hand, sketching a seating chart while gossiping about potential guests. Friends from Kate's college days, Dennis's medical colleagues, and perhaps a few surprise appearances. She gestures passionately. Imagine a trove of magnolia blooms draped over the lanai railing, matching ivory satin ribbons. Rose interjects with enthusiasm. "Oh, and I can bake a 4-tier coconut cake with rosewater frosting," nearly knocking Blanche's napkin design off the cushion. Meanwhile, Sophia prowls the kitchen, rattling pots and pans. She grumbles affectionately. "You girls plan like you're putting on the Met Opera," but hums along as she preps trays of bruschetta and finger sandwiches. Dorothy, armed with a tape measure and clipboard, checks sofa clearance for extra folding chairs and calls the florist to confirm delivery at noon. Between calls, she shares quiet jokes with Rose about where to stash Dennis's medical instruments. "We can't have those in the punch bowl!" lightening the mood. The apartment buzzes with harmonious chaos as each woman pours her personality into crafting an intimate, memorable wedding. As the ceremony hour approaches, Dorothy peeks through the Venetian blinds and sees a sleek black car glide to a stop. She grips the windowsill as Stanley Zabornak, in a crisp tuxedo, steps onto the porch. His hair is impeccably combed, but there's a flicker of awkwardness in his posture. Dorothy's heart hammers. Memories of his abrupt departure surface, how he left her in a swirl of legal jargon and stunned silence. She exhales sharply, straightening her blouse, and signals Blanche to answer the door. Stanley enters, his smile tentative, as he greets each woman in turn. Blanche, ever the gracious hostess, offers him a martini. He declines with a polite nod. Rose shyly holds out a plate of macaroons, which he accepts with a curious glance. Sophia sizes him up sharply and mutters under her breath, "Toupee looks good on the pillow, Stanley." Dorothy stands aside, arms folded, emotion flickering in her eyes. When Stanley approaches Dorothy, he places a trembling hand on her shoulder and murmurs, "I'm sorry for everything. Thank you for inviting me." The weight of the moment is palpable. Past resentments clash with Kate's happiness, setting the stage for an emotional reckoning. In the living room, guests arrive. Kate's college friends chat animatedly. Dennis's colleagues offer congratulations, while Dorothy pulls Stanley aside near the fireplace. His eyes hold regret as he admits, "I was scared, Dorothy. I thought I'd never measure up as a father after leaving." Dorothy's voice quavers as she lists the nights she cried alone, the graduations he missed, and her fear that Kate would grow up resenting him. Stanley steps closer, voice soft but earnest. "I want to be there for her now, if you'll let me." The emotional intensity fills the room, and even Blanche pauses to sip her martini. Dorothy exhales, tears glistening in her eyes, and places her hand over Stanley's. "For Kate," she whispers. They share a tentative hug, 38 years of history compressed into a single embrace. As they rejoin the gathering, Rose offers Kate a reassuring hug while Sophia sneaks a photo of the reunited family. The transformation is subtle but powerful. Old wounds begin to heal, if only for tonight, and the living room shimmers with a renewed sense of unity and forgiveness. The ceremony begins under a floral arch in the lanai, fairy lights flickering overhead as Kate and Dennis exchange heartfelt vows. Dorothy stands beside Stanley, pride and emotion etched on her face. Blanche wipes away a tear with a chiffon handkerchief, and Rose clasps her hands in delight. Sophia, perched on a stool with her camera, whispers, "Hold it, Kate. Perfect moment," then clicks the shutter. Soft jazz replaces the wedding march as the newlyweds share their first kiss. The reception spills into the living room. Laughter mingles with clinking glasses, and the aroma of Rose's coconut cake fills the air. Blanche leads a spirited conga line around the coffee table. Dorothy and Stanley dance awkwardly but happily, and Rose sings a quirky St. Olaf blessing that has everyone in stitches. Sophia sneaks extra slices of cheesecake, proclaiming, "A celebration without dessert is just a meeting." As the camera pulls back, the four roommates collapse onto the sofa, toasting to friendship, family, and life's unexpected second chances. The credits roll over their contented smiles, leaving listeners with warmth and anticipation for the next adventure.